It's food o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we're going to be taking a look at some Sainsbury's pub specials steak and ale pie. Goes in the oven for 35 minutes on gas mark 6. I've seen these. I'm not a Sainsbury's shopper really, but they brought out some beers and it's about, for some reason, a 8-mile journey for me to get to Sainsbury's. So I went all the way out to Sainsbury's, don't normally go, bought the beers, and I thought, what else have they got to review whilst I'm here? And I quite like the look of these pub specials there. The steak and ale pie is a pub special. You see some of the other supermarkets doing steak and craft ale pies. They just kept it as ale. There's a look at it. Let's get it in a baking tray, get it in the oven. Gas mark 6. What is the time? 1:45. 1:45. How's the maths? 20 past 1. Yeah, 20 past 1 to be ready. So, it's in the oven. The oven's fired up. It's Shepherd Neame Bishop's Finger Ale, a short crust pastry base filled with British and Irish beef and Bishop's Finger Ale, in gravy topped with a puff pastry lid and cracked black pepper. Oh, I'm looking forward to this now. Let's let it cook, and we'll be back in a bit. Okay, the pie is done. Let's get it out the oven. The lid is a little bit crispy, I must admit. Chuck that over there. Right, here we go. Here's a look at it. But I got a funny oven. A lot of you know that. I'd rather give it a little bit more of a cook than an undercook. I actually took it out at 26 minutes past, but when I checked at 20 minutes past, it still wasn't done. So it still looked like it needed to have a little bit more of a cook. Right, let's get the lid off, see what it looks like. Here we go. Bishop's Finger steak and ale pie. This will be the first time I've ever had a pie from Sainsbury's. For some reason we don't have a big Sainsbury's in Barry, the town I live. So just moving this about a bit. There's your lumps of steak. Hopefully it's pretty decent. Let's give the steak and ale sauce a go, or the gravy should I say. It's really rich, really quite rich and lovely. Almost there's a sweetness to it. Hot. Lovely crispy pie lid. I like the fact it's it's still got a bit of stickiness to it on the underside. Probably the first time I've grown a beard and eaten a puff pastry pie, so I'm expecting the puff pastry to get all over my beard today. That is quite nice. Lovely quality to the pastry. Lovely sweet but savoury, meaty, gravy-like sauce. Actually, you really get a sense of the beer. Steak and ale pies, for what they are, they're genuinely just steak and gravy pies. I don't think I've ever had a steak and ale pie that really does, well, you can really taste the ale. Bishop's Finger being a dark, I'd call that like a dark mild. You definitely get that kind of the dark mild flavours from the Bishop's Finger in this gravy. It's good. Now for the rest. Shall we see if this pie has let's get rid of that foil tin. Let's see what the bottom of this pie is like. That looks pretty good. No kind of soggy bottom going on there. How do you eat the rest? I mean, it's quite easy to eat the rest if I was sitting at the table, but to eat this pie on camera, I'm thinking turn it, flip it over and get stuck into it this way. Here we go. It's really lovely. It really is a lovely. I'm really pleased I picked these up. I passed them and I walked past them in the aisle and I thought, I got halfway down the aisle and I thought, you know, I'm going to go back and pick them up. I'm going to go back and pick these pies up. As I mentioned earlier, or if I haven't mentioned it earlier, Sainsbury's for me is like a 10-mile round trip, or maybe even a 15-mile round trip. For some reason they don't have a big Sainsbury's in Barry, so I picked up some of the things of interest while I was in there, thinking it might make for a good review. And of course, anything beer and food related goes down really well anyway. I feel that Sainsbury's, they're quite close to Marks and Spencer's in where they want to be as a supermarket. You go to Marks and Spencer's and you can see they have their own gastro range. They call it gastropub pies, and they were really good. But this, even though frozen, is equally as good. It's equally as good as a pie from Marks and Spencer's. Because, and I'll say it again, you really get that Bishop's Finger flavour in the gravy. That dark mild like flavour. Steak's quite nice, quite tender. No chewy bits. Nice bits of steak in there. A decent pie. Let's rate it. Right. Rating for that. First of all, does it fill you up? Steak and ale pie for lunch goes without saying. That's enough for me for my lunch. It's peppery. You get that pepper on the crust, on the lid of the pie. It wasn't soggy at all. It was all nicely done. The biggest thing for me was it was an actual steak and ale pie. You really got a sense of that bishop's finger. Whether it's a porter or a dark mild. I haven't had a bishop's finger in years. Probably the last time I had bishop's finger, I was at the brewery 10 years ago. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, rating for the pie, I like it. I like it. It's a really good pie. It's a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.